Now, unfortunately, this guy can't seem to get away from the Ottawa Senators. Even when he chooses to leave, he always finds his way back home. Today, we are talking about Denis Gilbert. Or, actually, no, he's from Buffalo, New York. Dennis Gilbert, we'll just say instead. Now, I jest half and half. Denis Gilbert is like my immediate mind's instinct when I read hockey players' names that have these letters, but it's Dennis Gilbert. He is a new Ottawa Senator because the Sens have acquired him in a trade from the Philadelphia Flyers in exchange for Maxence Guenette. Is that correct? Let's head over to Google Translate here and just pop this open.
Maxence Guenette.
Maxence Guenette. Okay, we're going to roll with it. Sounds great. But it is a 1-for-1 trade between the Sens and the Flyers. This happened earlier in the afternoon. Because the Sens and the Flyers are not playing games later today, I thought it'd be a nice time to just go out there and break down this trade. Look at this, eh? Dennis Gilbert, my goodness, I said Gilbert. Dennis Gilbert. Gilbert signed in Buffalo last year, then got traded to Ottawa, left in free agency to sign with Philadelphia, then gets traded to Ottawa again just 2 months into the season. The guy cannot escape Ottawa nor Belleville. If I had a nickel for every time the Sens acquired Dennis Gilbert in 2025. Now, this is the situation at hand here. Gilbert is a 29-year-old defenseman, 6'3", 216, left-handed defenseman, defensive defenseman, drafted by Chicago all the way back in the 2015 NHL Entry Draft. So, the famous McDavid, Eichel, Marner, Hanifin draft. Gilbert spent some time in the NCAA after being drafted, got some points, eventually debuted with the Chicago Blackhawks later on, then found himself in Colorado, Calgary, Buffalo, Ottawa, Philadelphia, and now he's back in Ottawa one more time. This season, Gilbert had 1 point in 6 Lehigh Valley Phantoms games in the AHL. Last season, he had 5 points in 25 Buffalo Sabres games, and 1 point in 4 Sens games too. If I had to guess, I think the Senators just taking a really educated approach here. Seems like the Sens really like this guy, as they are able to acquire him twice in the same calendar year. They acquired Gilbert from the Buffalo Sabres in March 6, 2025, and then today, just however many months later, they end up getting him again, after he leaves and goes over to Philly. Let's just take a look here. What was the trade which sent him over to Ottawa in the first place? This is the first trade. It was the Dylan Cousins trade with Josh Norris and Dennis Gilbert. Yes, that is exactly what it was. Senators acquire Cousins and Gilbert from the Sabres, and then they get Gilbert one more time because they're like, hey, you're looking pretty good with Dylan Cousins, so why not go out there and acquire this guy yet again? Wow, look at that reunion, eh? Meanwhile, Maxence Guenette heading over to the Philadelphia Flyers, 24 years old, right-handed defenseman, 6'2", 209. He was a 7th-round draft pick by the Sens back in 2019, and this season, he hasn't played a game yet. Now, he had 23 points in 58 games last season, but unfortunately for Guenette, he is not available at the moment. There was a conversation or two about why it is he has not played yet, but it seems more so, just based off of some of the tea leaves, that this may have something to do with just an unwillingness to be in this spot. It doesn't seem like Guenette was really happy in that situation, so it seemed like a move the Senators needed to make. And this is referenced by some of the folks on the R Ottawa Senators subreddit. I mean, they went out there and talked about the Gilbert acquisition, saying pretty nice things. Hey, he's back. I thought Guenette would be gone for cash considerations. Now we have a lefty. Part of me wanted to give Donovan a shot, but it's a risk that we can't take considering how close the division is. Tidy work. Good NHL vet who is okay sitting in the press box or being the 7th D and allows the younger kids in Belleville to keep their 20 minutes in the AHL instead of 6 minutes in the show while they continue to improve. Spare D for the Cali road trip. Yeah, that's pretty much it, eh? I mean, Thomas Chabot is out, so there are some extra defensemen needed on this Senators roster, and Guenette is a guy that I don't think would have been a reasonable shot at that opportunity. I mean, I just don't know if he's fully ready to take that next step at this point. He wasn't able to crack the Senators full-time this season nor last, so getting a guy who is experienced, who you do have experience playing with, I do think that's a reasonably good move for the Ottawa Senators over here. I get the impression that Guenette basically told the team, trade me. I'm not showing up to Belleville again. That combined with the Chabot injury forced Staios' hand. Otherwise, this is a weird deal given that 1, Guenette is pretty obviously the better hockey player, and 2, we could have just signed Gilbert in the summer. Then another reply says, I'm not sure if Guenette is obviously better. He's a right D that wasn't able to crack this roster when we needed right D, and that's a position of scarcity. Gilbert has over 100 NHL games, Guenette has 8. Guenette is obviously younger and less experienced. And yeah, so it does seem like Sens fans are pretty happy with this move. Tidy piece of work by Steve Staios. Lots to like out of the Gilbert acquisition. And for the Philadelphia Flyers, you think about it, it's like, hey, they are getting a younger, more point-productive guy, a player who has exhibited a different kind of ceiling than Gilbert. It doesn't seem like the Flyers are doing too hot this season, so hey, getting some younger talent could provide a spark in that lineup. Philadelphia Flyers fans are going out there and talking about this trade as well on their subreddit. 5 years younger, 7th-round pick. Seems fine. We weren't going to be playing Gilbert anyway, so might as well get the same guy, just younger. Plus, Guenette's AHL production is not too shabby. They traded a 29-year-old on a one-way contract, moved for a 24-year-old that signed a two-way contract. Gilbert was never going to beat out Juleson with Tocchet as the coach, and with Bonk now skating with the no-contact jersey on, and Zamula already their 7th D, there was no room for Gilbert. Wouldn't be surprised if Gilbert was even able to earn a spot in Ottawa's lineup. Well, that's a little different because there are injuries. But yeah, that's a really good point, eh? Gilbert was never going to beat out Noah Juleson with Tocchet as the coach. That is a given. Tocchet loves his Noah Juleson, so I do question just where Guenette is going to fit into all of this if he gets a shot with the Philadelphia Flyers. I do wonder, because Tocchet has had offensive defensemen in the past, like Quinn Hughes, for example, and he did say similar things about Jamie Drysdale, that, oh yeah, Drysdale can become somebody like a Quinn Hughes. Guenette obviously is not in that same mold, but he is productive in the AHL, which does get me wondering, what is his capability at the NHL with Philadelphia if Rick Tocchet is looking for another one of these offensive-leaning guys? Not sure he's ever going to have that ceiling, but hey, it's worth a shot to try it, I guess. So you can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What are your thoughts on Guenette as a Flyers product? And if you're a Sens fan, hey, what are your thoughts on Gilbert heading back over to your team? Really interesting trade over here. Let me know in the comments all your opinions. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.